first and foremost by saying we all do this in our own worlds. No matter how much someone dresses very unique, they're looking at somebody. They're looking at something. Some stuff just kind of picks up quicker than others. The yellow Onitsukas, the little Marlboro hat. It's just one of those things that you see everywhere, and you think that is what leveling up into style looks like, and that's not what it is. Leveling up into your style is literally just figuring out what you actually like. You figure out what fits on your body for real. You figure out what colors you actually like to wear. Leveling up in your personal style is legitimately just figuring out all of your weak points and making them strong. I got a short torso, I got a little neck, I got really long legs, weird proportions in my butt and stuff like that. But you know what? I figured all that shit out.
And understanding your sizing for real. I love when Lauren said that because that's legitly how you start. And that's why today's topic is understanding your sizing. Hey YouTube, it's Christian Green here with my YouTube channel. And today's video I'm excited because it's kind of like my first one that's not talking about my leg or whatnot. But this video is going to be an informative one. So why this video was brought up to me, I have a lot of people that come to me as a sourcer or a stylist, or they just need a clarification or a question about a clothing item. When it comes to whether it's jackets, whether it's bottoms, I'm gonna keep it to those two because I'm gonna just keep it as simple as that. People ask me, would you wear this or would I rock this? And I love those questions, and I feel free to ask me those all the time. And I want to ponder and help people, within that realm, because I was lost. You know what I mean? When I was trying to find my way and trying to find what style fits this and what style fits that. But it all starts with sizing. Why is it important to know what size you are? And again, it falls in the category of how you want your presence to look, how you want your energy to be projected when you're in groups or when you're out with people and stuff like that. I feel like that all ties in to knowing what your sizing is actually. Before I begin, this is my opinion and my testimony. So I'm not trying to shun or knock off anybody else's the way they fit their clothes or whatnot, because we'll get into what my size is. I'm 140 pounds, 6 foot, with a girl's waist. And that doesn't help with a lot of men. It's just about genetics and luck. But sizing and understanding that helps all that. And none of that genetics and stuff like that doesn't matter. Why is it important? Again, to piggyback off what I was kind of saying, I'm still clocked in, so don't mind me. When you understand your sizing and know okay, this amount of inches is this how long this is going to be, I know my length and I know my size, so this is going to fit me this type of way or this way. And to know and to understand your sizing helps you identify what kind of style you're trying to go for, whether it's a Japanese Americana, whether it's a streetwear Y2K, whether it's very preppy and very sharp. Doesn't matter. You need to figure out what your size is before you go and pinpoint what size not just you think you are, but can kind of measure to. Number two is, when it comes to sizing, I chose and stuck with two things because you're going to always need two things: a top and a bottom. So a top can be a t-shirt, a jacket, a hoodie, a sweater. A bottom can be pants, jeans, shorts, you name it, swim trunks, all that. Once you understand what you want, I would say the first thing you would figure out is understanding what each thing means. Your pit to pit is from your one armpit to another armpit. Your length, sometimes people like to say the back of your neck down. When I do length, I do neck to hem. So neck to hem And this is all by inches too, by the way. And that's for the tops too. Let's say your jacket or your long sleeve has a sleeve, then you would measure from the pit to the cuff. And that's quote unquote your sleeves and that stuff like that. And doing that for yourself personally will understand what each of your size is. And like that's your true size. And true size meaning like, yes, it's gonna be uncomfortable and tight, but you have to understand what that size is, so you can either decrease it by 2, add it by 2 to have that, you know, boxy, or to have that more fit, comfortable fit that you like. To understand like your pit to pit, your arm length, your sleeves, and all that. Once you find out from your own body, you then go into, like, let's say for instance Uniqlo, you go to whatever shirt it is, because it'll be small, medium, large, whatnot, and people base that off that, which is perfect. That's a basic generic thing that you use to measure out your clothing. But you always click, and I make sure I do this now, is I click the size guide, try to look for like inches, and it should say by inches or by centimeters, and understanding what the small pit to pit is, or the smallest neck to hem is, will then calculate on what a fitted piece would look like, then more so of a smaller or baggier fitted piece. And that's for my tops. And you can use that same equation for your bottoms as well. So bottoms, the only 2 measurements that I pay attention to is waist and your inseam. And to understand your waist and your inseam, it's the same thing. You put in your measuring tape on your body, just like your tops, and you're measuring out your waist. So you're wrapping around with inches. You understand that. And your inseam, which is typically at the top of your crotch, all the way to the running leg, all the way down in the inside to your ankle. So I have to like help you guys figure that out, because I'm actually in my undies, so don't laugh at me. But once you measure out your inseam, then you can go and understand like what it is I have to do to understand what size this I want these pants to be. Do I want these pants straight legged and no creasing at like as it touches my shoes with a little cuff? So that'll make it to where you have a perfect waist, no belt, with a, let's say it's a, your my inseam is a 30, 31. It's a 31. No, it's a 30. And for me to have no cuff, it would be, the inseam would have to be just 30. With cuff, it'll have to be, the inseam would have to be maybe a 32. And 32 will allow me to cuff it, because you're increasing and it's going over your ankle now, or whatever your measured without clothing skin to skin measurement is. And then you utilize that, and you add those factors in to understand, when you're going into your website, to look at the size guide, to look at what their 30 is or their 28 is, because it'll say 28, right? And some, which the shops that I look at, they have a whole generic inseam, or they have a standard inseam. Like a 28 waist can still be put on with a 34 inseam. You know what I mean? And they'll sometimes hem that for you, or you have to do it yourself. But to understand your waist to inseam ratio is so important. That's why you go to Levi's or another store, you see the 30 something by X 30 something. You know what I mean? It's the bam bam. And to know those 2 factoids helps so much. Yeah, I'll show some examples here. Of course, it'll be added with my B-roll. But for instance, let me get up. All right, so these pants, they're from No Maintenance, which I'll do another video talking about my Silver's denim soon. These pants are from No Maintenance. They are a, without my belt, a 32. So you can see the waist is a little longer. And the length is a 32 as well. So I have a single cuff on here. And the cuff just, of course, shows my red line. But also, like, it just gives that look to where, like, okay, like, he cuffs his pants. He doesn't want to damage his pants. But I do it because it's just the style that I want to rock. So these are my pants that's baggy. So like this is that quote unquote Y2K trendy kind of look. your pants are like very loose on you, but your belt helps you keep it up, correct? For instance, I hope you can see, but this is a extra large, I think double XL Russell Athletic hoodie. And you can tell that the vibe is matching because it's big on big. You feel me? Like, I wouldn't want to wear my medium jacket. I could, like, I'm not trying to throw no shade or anything, but I feel when you're like styling stuff or wanting to like wear something that's out of your like field range, or you know about it and you're iffy about it, you at least need to know baggy with baggy, tight with tight. And like that'll make your fit look so subtle. You know what I mean? Like you can then add layers, accessories that'll match that vibe. And so this is the baggy look, and then I'll show you what a tighter look would look like. All right, so these are my favorite, like legit, one of my favorite 501s. These are the 90s version, which we can talk about styles of Levi's from the eras in another video. But these are my 501s. These are a size 27 waist, and the length is, I think, about 30 or 31, which I don't have to add a cuff, but if I want to, I still can to give it like that higher, kind of feel of things. But as you can see, like they're very tight in the thighs ish. It's good for like that skater kind of vibe or look or thing. They fit so tight and so well at your waist that you don't need a belt. And that's why I always ask people when I'm styling them or helping them, like I'm like, what is your exact waist without a belt? And so like with something like this, as you can see, it's a bit more cropped than the other one. It still kind of has that same baggy aesthetic, a little smaller in my forearms, but the flooding really like shows what my fit is looking like. And the tightness of a fit really like stands out, whether your shoes, your accessories, or just yourself, like your body, your fit. So that's why it's very important to know what your sizing is and what you're trying to actually, congregate or grab. Yeah, it's to wrap it up again in a conclusion, it's just important to know what your size is, especially in like the fashion world, especially if you're trying to model or if you're trying to like up your like closet status. Understanding your sizing will put you in an area that you feel uncomfortable, and you're gonna have to like continue to put on different things and stuff like that. But it's okay. It took me 2 years to finalize my actual closet piece by piece. 2 years. Don't feel rushed trying to get to your closet or what you want your closet to be, because one, you'll waste money, and two, like understand things or parlors around you. Like go to the thrift store and buy like a $12 blazer or some pants that don't fit but you like them. Take them bad boys to the tailor. Get them tailored. Tailor is about 25 to 40 bucks depending on what tailor you go to. And them tailoring it up saves you so much money of buying an expensive piece that that is your size and stuff like that, and you just forcibly get it. You're gonna lose some money and you're gonna lose what your end goal is. And when you're into this fashion world or just getting into it or trying to understand it, take your time, ask questions, start doing things by yourself to understand what actually kind of matters, if that makes sense. But yeah, I end this video here. Thanks again for listening out and hearing what I had to say. And oh, this is another thing. What I'm trying to do with my YouTubes at the end is ask like what I did this past week or what's new in my life. So let's call these the end of the videos, the post credit videos, what's new in my life. And or the things that I've done or something exciting, a little story. So today is Christmas Eve, and I got up this morning. When I get up, I like to hug my wife. I like to kind of like snuggle with her for like 30 minutes to an hour to where she doesn't know. I get up at like 5, 6 a.m. And around like 6:30, I'm like, okay, I need to get up, to actually start my day. And sometimes she's like, no, don't leave. Like, you weren't even holding me that long. Like, babe, you've been asleep this whole time. Like, yes, I've been holding you, It's a little cute, little funny story. But I felt obligated because I knew my dog needed to be fed. We needed eggs. We needed X, Y, and Z. And through my process of me healing through my from my leg, I learned that I knew that I need to start doing things on my own now. Start preparing myself, not just preparing myself to become or be the man that I said I would be in my vows and what I talked to God about every day. I got up, went to the grocery store, got the stuff that I needed to get, and then I was driving my wife's car and I'm like, oh wow, like she's empty on gas. She needs gas. Pulled over to the gas station, got her gas. She doesn't even know. She doesn't even know. I promise you she'll get into the car and drive around and not realize that there's cats in the car. But um yeah, as I was at the gas station, this lady comes up to me. She's like, hey, I'm going to the Georgia Brown Convention Center for food and stuff like that. She's like kind of like in a raggedy rundown. Hey, still drives A to B. And she like, you can you spare some gas? I'm like, laughs. I'm like, you want a joke? I'm like, I can give you, whatever. She like, no gas. Can you spare some gas? I'm like, yeah, I can spare some gas. It's Christmas time. So I pumped her gas up with like 25 bucks and I felt so good because, it's not just a time of giving and cheerful and none by humbug activities. It's just when you start to do things like that, it creates something that you never thought you'd get for Christmas. I'm growing into someone that I never thought I'd be. And I just thank God every day for Him allowing me to just continue to grow within His wisdom and to show me like where my faults are at, where I can get better at. You know what I mean? So thanks for joining in this post video production. I will see you guys later. I can't wait to show you what the next video is. Cheers.